everyone, today we are going to start our integration series. So this is your integration series part 1. In this series, we'll go from basic level to very advanced level. So I hope you will like this series and you will enjoy the series for sure. So integration is also known as primitive, right? What is known as? It is known as primitive. And it is also known as antiderivative. So why is it known as antiderivative? Let's try to find out. Let's say there is a function known as phi x. Okay. Now, if I do the differentiation of this function with respect to x, what I'll get is, let's say we'll get a function fx. Okay. Now, what we are going to do is, we are going to integrate this function. We are going to integrate this fx dx. Now this integration will give us phi x. So this is why it is known as antiderivative, means which is opposite of derivative. Okay. So we will start our very basic things, like this is your integral sign. This is a function, let's say fx, and this is your small element, and this function is known as integrand. Okay. This is known as integrand. This is known as integral sign. And this is known as integrating element. So, having said this, we are going to understand the very basic properties of integration. So, stay tuned. The first property that we are going to understand is the integration of x raised to the power n, which is the integration of x raised to the power n dx is nothing but x raised to the power n plus 1 upon n plus 1. Let's say if I want to integrate, let's say x raised to the power 4. Okay. So what would be the integration of x raised to the power? It would be x raised to the power 4 plus 1 upon 4 plus 1, which comes out to be x raised to the power 5 upon 5 plus c. Okay. Why is it c? Let's try to find out. Let's say you have any function, okay, which is 4x plus 1, and let's say you have another function 4x plus 1000. Okay. So whether I would find f dash x, which is the derivative of fx, it comes out to be 4, and whether I would find out g dash x, it would also come out to be 4. So this constant is varying in nature, right, from 1 to 1000. This c takes care of the varying nature of these constants. This is the question that we have. Okay, if we want to integrate this function, let's start. Okay, so in order to solve this question, we need to understand the basic property of logarithm that I will try to show you here. So it is nothing, integral, it would turn out to be log base a x raised to the power 3 and then dx. So you would be wondering what happened from this step to this step. Let's try to find out here. Okay, what happens is, let's say you have a log, okay, which is having a base a, and there is a function, there is a variable x, and there is a constant over the power of x. Okay, so this is log base a x raised to the power m. Okay, so what I can write this is, I can write that this power will come up here. This power will come up here, and it would turn out to be m log base a x. Okay, so similarly you will see that this is nothing but 3 log base a x. So it would turn out to be the power, like we are from here to here we have come up. M log base a x will turn out to be log base a x raised to the power m. It is as simple as that. Okay. Now the second step that we have is, what we are going to do, integration of, it would turn out to be x raised to the power 3 dx. Now you will be imagining that what suddenly happened, that how come this much has been reduced to this. So there is another property that we will have to understand, which is that a raised to the power log base a x or let's say x raised to the power m, okay, it would be turn out to be nothing but x raised to the power m. So what you will have to think in mind that this a raised to the power and this log base a has to be the same thing. If they are the same thing, then what you can do is you can cancel these out, okay. So you will be getting this as the answer, okay. So similarly that we have find out here that a raised to the power log base x raised to the power 3 would turn out to be x raised to the power 3, and so now it would become very simple, which is x raised to the power 4 upon 4 and plus integrating constant. We have another question and now we are trying to solve this question, okay. So this is also based on the property of logarithms. So what I'm going to do here is I'll write this as integral, it would turn out to be x raised to the power 5 minus it would turn out to be x raised to the power 4, and now it would turn out to be x raised to the power 3, and now it would turn out to be x raised to the power 2 dx. Okay, now you people have been wondering that how come this much expression has been reduced to this. So as I have earlier told you the property of logarithm, what would it be? Like e raised to the power 5 log base ex, if we'll take the example here. So what I'm going to do is e raised to the power log base e x raised to the power 5, okay. So in this you will see that this and this is same, so this and this is same, so you will be remaining with this only. So x raised to the power 5 is here. Similarly, you will see that e and e here is same, this power would come up to the x raised to the power 4, okay, and similarly this would also come out to be x raised to the power 3, and then e would cancel out, and then this 2 would come out to be x raised to the power 2, and then this, the whole thing would cancel out. So you will be finally getting this this expression, okay. And now this is very simple to calculate. So you will be getting x, you will take x square as a common on from numerator and denominator both. You will be getting x raised to the power 3 minus x raised to the power 2, and here you will be getting x minus 1, okay. You will be getting x minus 1. So this would cancel out, okay. Now this would again be reduced to, what we can write here is integral, you will take x square common in numerator, you will be getting this is x minus 1, and in denominator you will be getting x minus 1, okay. So this is nothing but integral x square dx. So what is integral x square dx is nothing but x raised to the power n plus 1 upon n plus 1, so which is x raised to the power 3 upon 3 plus c, okay. It is very important to add your constant here, otherwise if you will go in a CBSE class 12th board and your marks can get deducted because of the same thing. So you will have to be very careful while attempting such questions. Now we are going to understand more properties of integrals. First one is integral 1 upon x dx. It is nothing but your log x plus c. This is the very beauty of this function, that whether it is differentiation or integration, e raised to power x will remain the same. So it is nothing but your e raised to power x plus c. This is a constant raised to the power variable, okay. So what you will do is a raised to power x upon log a plus c. So integral of sin x, in differentiation sin x is cos x, but in integration sin x is minus cos x. So while I was also in the school, so one of my teacher used to say that in integration sine is a very notorious function. So you will have to remember it that way, that in integration sine is notorious, in differentiation cosine is notorious, okay. Now integration of cos x is nothing but sin x plus c. So this is your integral of sec square x, which is nothing but tan x plus c, and here is your integral of cos square x, which is nothing but minus cot x plus c, okay. Now here we have some very important property we will have to understand. So this is integral of sec x tan x is nothing but your sec x plus c, okay. Integral cosec x cot x is nothing but your minus cosec x plus c cot. So what you will do is, so try to remember it that way, it will really help you. That you know that cot is cos upon sine, this is cos upon sine, okay. So in denominator, whatever it is, you will write it here. This is cos upon sine, so you will get log sin x plus c. Okay. Now you will come to tan x. You will see that tan x is nothing but sine upon cos. Okay. This is sine upon cos. So here you will get minus log cos x plus c. Okay. Now this is integral of sec x. So this is also very important property, which is your log sec x plus tan x. Okay. Now integral of cosec x, what integral of cosec x would be? It is log cosec x minus cot x. Okay. So you will have to remember these properties in order to solve any question of integration. So this is very important for you to learn. Okay. So I'll give you space so that you can take a screenshot. We have these two problems of integration, which is 2 upon 1 plus cos 2x and 2 upon 1 minus cos 2x. So we will try to see that by applying the properties that we have learned, how we can tackle these questions. So let's try to find out. You have this question, okay? So what you need to do is, you need to understand a very basic property of trigonometry, which is nothing but your 1 plus cos 2x is 2 cos square x. Okay, and for this you need to understand that 1 minus cos 2x is 2 sin square x. Okay, now we'll come up here, you will get integral of 2 upon 1 plus cos 2x, nothing but 2 cos square x. Okay, so here you will cancel these out. So what is 1 upon cos x, right? What is 1 upon cos x? It is nothing but sec x. Okay, it is nothing but sec x. So here you will get integral of 1 upon cos square x will be sec square x. So this will turn out to be sec square x dx. So this is, so as we have already known that integral of sec square x is tan x plus c. Okay, now we will try to understand this question first. Okay, what is it? That integral of 2 upon 1 minus cos 2x is 2 sin square x. 2 sin square x. Okay, so 2 would cancel out. So this, you know that 1 upon sin x is cosec x. Okay, so here you will get integral of 1 upon sin square will turn out to be cosec square x. So you will get integral of cosec square x dx, which would be nothing but your minus cot x plus c. Okay. So this is how you need to apply these properties to find out the problems of integration.